Whoa. Check. Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome into the window, the sports betting podcast that is trying to turn your losing hobby, our losing hobby, because we are in this together, into a legitimate side hustle. I am Jemiah, one half of the To the Window Sports Betting Podcast, and I am here with the bets for today, which we have quite a few, lots of underdogs in MLB, tons of WNBA because I fucking love it. Some NBA sides, totals, props, all that jazz. You know how we roll here. Volume, bets, as long as we have the edge. But first, I want to recap yesterday. Chris and I did a show and we gave out 10 bets. We went 7-3. So 4-1 on player props, 2-1 on money lines, and 1-1 on spreads. We covered on the Cavs, got the Diamondbacks, we got the Rays. We lost on the Astros. We lost on the Thunder. They didn't cover, but they closed out the Lakers as I thought they would. Spider Mitchell went nuclear. It's a beautiful thing to see. Sorry, Pistons. LBJ did his thing for 24 points. We had him over 22.5 points. SGA, as predicted, went off for 35 for fun when he had I think 14 or 15 at halftime. And Evan Mobley did his thing. He had his in the third quarter. The only person that let us down was Cade Cunningham, the man who I thought couldn't be stopped. Shouts out to Kenny Atkins for the defensive wherewithal, the coaching wherewithal to listen to his coaching staff about his rotations and just double the man. Like the only person on that Piston squad that is going to give this Cavaliers team issues outside of Cade Cunningham is going to be Paul Reed. Tobias Harris, I'm sorry, but listen, he's doing his thing. Respect, but not to carry and win a game. Cade's going to have to do that. So 7-3 yesterday, gained 4 units. It's been a solid week. Gained a unit on Sunday, 5 units on Monday, and on the 8th gained a unit. So we are rolling right along. Where it's 5, 6, 7, up 11 units in the past 4 days. So that's a good thing. Let's get into today's card, but before we get into it, I want to say something real quick that Confucius say, it doesn't matter how slowly you go, it doesn't matter how fast you go, none of that matters as long as you don't stop. Just keep going. All right. The sports betting world online is one of the most negative places on the internet outside of Twitter. Sucks, man. Like, it is so bad. Like, there's another podcast out there that is literally, the whole point of their podcast is to talk shit about other bettors and about how smart they are and what bettors doing what wrong. It's crazy to me. I mean, we're all just here to make some money, man. There's no need to go against each other. And I get it. I know why it's such a negative place. Is because you're dealing in a business where legitimately you're going to be wrong. If you're really good at this, you are going to be wrong 45% of the time. And those are some of the best in the world. And you're dealing with guys and girls with egos that are getting punched in the face a couple times a week, sometimes every day. And it will, for most people, it would humble you and make you want to stay out of the space, off the internet. For others, they lean into it. They want to go viral. They want to scream and yell about locks and for surefire winners and things of that nature. That's not us. That's not us here. We're not doing the bad beat Twitter. We're not doing graded losses on TikToks. We're not the guys that are quitting after 2 weeks. You know what those guys all have in common? They treat variance, which is losses. They treat variance like it's a verdict, like you're guilty. You're not good at what you're doing. No, variance is not a verdict. It's not something that a couple losses in a row doesn't tell you that you're a bad bettor. All right. You maybe you need to reassess your process. Maybe you need to change the way you're looking at things. One of the best in the world that I listen to, I follow, when in doubt, and this is in regards to life and everything you do. When in doubt, zoom out, because we as humans have a tendency to focus on the micro, and we focus on the small things. When in doubt, and from a betting standpoint, when in doubt, zoom out. Look at the big picture. Do not look at a particular game for an outcome. Look at the big picture. And what we're doing is trying to establish what I'm trying to establish with you, that variance isn't a nail in the coffin. You had a bad day. You need to change everything about your model and things of that nature. No, I'm not doing that. It's weather. Variance is weather. Losses are weather. They're going to come. It's inevitable. It's going to rain. The sun's going to shine. It's going to be overcast. It's going to get cold. It's going to get hot. What we're building is protection from that weather every single day, like an umbrella, if you will. So in regards to betting, in regards to life, you got losses this week. I know it's only Tuesday, but you take an L yesterday. You take a loss on Sunday from betting, life, whatever. Good. Log it. Learn from it. Build on it. You don't lose. You learn. All right. The bettors that are still around after year 2, year 3, not the lucky ones. We're the ones that show up every day. I've been doing this since I don't know what year it was. It was since the 49ers Ravens Super Bowl where the lights went out at halftime. I've been doing this since then. Still doing it, still here, hadn't quit. So that's what this show is about, guys. It's about process, transparency, and we're building something real that we can not make a living off of, because the cats that are out here telling you, to try to, you're not going to be a professional handicapper. You're not going to be a professional bettor. I'm not. I'm decent, moderately good at best, but it's a process. It's a long way to go, and you can make just a little bit of side money and actually enjoy watching the games. One last thing, and I'll get to the card. I'm sorry for beating your eardrums up like this, but I was watching one of my shows this morning, one of my podcasts, and the game was the Pistons Cavs game was last night, and I think he had the Pistons team total over such and such, and the Pistons went 6 minutes without scoring, and they could have had 2 threes at the end, yada yada yada, blah blah blah. Dude woke up this morning still upset about the loss. That you don't do that. If watching these games is stressing you out and freaking you out to where you wake up the next day in a bad mood, you're in the wrong business, homie. Like, leave your emotions at your girlfriend's house. Leave your emotions with your wife. Don't bring them in here. This is not the place for it. This is not the business for it. This is for, you've got to have some thick skin, and you also need to be smart. You know how many games I watched during the NBA regular season? 0. You know why? Because I play the game at a somewhat of a high level, and it's tough to watch these guys go through 82 games in a regular season. It kind of sucks, man. It's like, there's no way I'd want to get up. I'm in Phoenix one night playing a game. Next thing you know, the next night I got to be in Sacramento to play a game, and the next night I got to be in Portland, and I've got to give my best effort every night. That is tough to do. So, you can't expect, and same with baseball. Like I said on yesterday's pod, 162 games is fucking nuts. It's stupid. But it's just too much in my opinion. And watching these games and stressing yourself out. Football's different because everybody loves football. Everybody's going to watch a fucking football game. Different. But basketball, baseball, hockey, 80 games in a season, it is insane if you sit there and watch these games and sweat these games. That's nuts. You are not going to be a happy person. Win or lose, you're not going to be a happy person. You're just going to be a stressed out motherfucker. You're like, don't stress yourself out, man. It is out of your control. All you can do is good research, good homework, eye test, check your model, watch the market. And then guess what? These are other human beings. They have to go play this game, and they are human. They've got things going on in their lives, and you do not know what they've got going on, and they are not perfect. And it is literally out of your control. Once the game tips, once you put that bet in, once you put that bet in, it's out of your control. So what are you watching for? You going to change it? You going to yell at the TV, tell the TV, oh, you should have made that shot? They can't hear you. They don't give a fuck about you. I'm a diehard Browns fan. That team has been making me sad for 46 years of my fucking life, man. Like, you think I'm about to fucking scream and get mad at this TV and yell at the TV because my team sucks? No. By the way, we will not be talking about the Browns until they put a decent product on the field. Shouts out to you, Jimmy Haslam. Fuck you, Jimmy Haslam. Go Browns. Let's get into this fucking card. First up, I'm going to run through MLB real quick. I'm taking Paul Skenes over 7.5 strikeouts for the Pittsburgh Pirates against the Colorado Rockies. That game is at 640. Is in Pittsburgh. They got Skenes priced crazy. Pittsburgh is minus 315 to 340. So let me break that down for you. If you wanted to win $10 on the Pirates to win this game, you would have to bet between $31 and $34 to bring back $10. And there's a chance you might lose. So you could lose $30 fucking dollars betting on this team, and it's baseball, and anything can happen, and a bad bounce, and Skenes could have a bad outing. Our bet is on Skenes not to have a bad outing. I think they've taken the reins off. They started them off slow this season. There's a ton of money on Pittsburgh, but I think at home, sometime at night, the Rockies are terrible. Over 7.5 strikeouts. He can reach that in 5 innings on a normal day. I'm not asking him to blow up. I'm not asking him to do anything crazy, but the guy's got an arm. The guy's got a cannon. The Rockies are bad. I don't have any regression concerns. My only concern is if it gets ugly early and they're just like, we'll just run to the bullpen and pull Skenes. So that's just a half unit play. Paul Skenes over 7.5 strikeouts. Next up, we are taking the Nationals again on the money line against the Cincinnati Reds. Look, it's Miles Mikolas starting fourth at Nationals. I think they might have an opener going for him as well. This is a tough bet in that Miles Mikolas is terrible. The sharp money's not piling on Cincinnati, but the casual bettors are, because they see Miles Mikolas's ERA and everything like that. Listen, he's a vet. He's been in this game for a long time. He can eat up some innings, and if we can get to that bullpen, and ideally, if the Nationals, I'm a Nationals fan, if the Nationals can get to Singer, ideally, it's a good public fade. So give us the Nationals on the money line. Next, this might seem a little dark to some people, but I was talking with Chris yesterday about the ring ceremony fade and things like that. Well, here in Atlanta, we lost 2 legends. We lost Bobby Cox and Ted Turner. I think in the same week, Bobby was 84. I think Ted Turner was 112. But you're giving me a coin flip game. Anytime I see this, you're giving me a coin flip game with the Cubbies and the Braves, who are 2 of the hottest teams in baseball. And you're giving me plus money on the Cubs at plus 110. It's nothing against the Braves. This is nothing personal, but we're taking the Cubbies at plus 110. You're giving me a 10% edge on a pitching matchup and a game that is a coin flip. And you give me a 10% edge on a coin flip, I'm going to take it every time. This is my lowest conviction play on the card. I'll probably, but the numbers are the numbers. The dirty ass White Sox are up next. Eric Fetty for the White Sox, Seth Kolick for the Royals. Again, another coin flip game where you're giving me plus money. These are just 2 mid-American League clubs. Home team getting plus money. Home dogs in MLB baseball this year have been cash cows. So we are taking the White Sox, the dirty ass, ugly ass White Sox. And last up, we're riding with the Diamondbacks again. They got to the money for us last night, if I'm not mistaken. I think I said that earlier. Zach Gallen is a great pitcher. Michael Gore is going for Texas. Everybody's on Texas. 62% of the tickets, 68% of the money. From about an hour ago when I saw it, that can change in a second, as most professional, like the real bettors know, like that can change really, really quick. But again, this is 2 evenly matched teams. You're giving me plus 114. That's a 14% edge. If you can get there quick, that's the one I love the most. That one and the St. Louis Cardinals. St. Louis Cardinals plus 135 at that price. I'm going to take them every time. They are one of the most profitable teams in baseball. Me and Chris and I were talking about it yesterday. It is the Cubs, it is the Braves, it is the Rays, and it is the Cardinals that are the most profitable teams in baseball. If you bet on every game that they were playing, you would be printing money at this point in the season, but be careful for regression, because that's going to happen. That's the baseball plays. I will run through them again right quick. We are taking the St. Louis Cardinals on the money line. I got them at plus 135. It's $10 to bring back $23.50. If you're a $10 better, if you're a $100 better, that's $100 to bring back $235. The Arizona Diamondbacks plus 111. Do the math. White Sox plus 111. Do the math. Cubs plus 110. Nationals plus 130. And Paul Skenes over 7.5 strikeouts. That is your baseball for today. I dove deeper than I wanted to, but Chris wasn't here to shut me down, and I start getting into the stats. He is the yin to my yang. He keeps me from going off on tangents about stats that no one gives a fuck about. Anyway, on to the hardwood. Minnesota, San Antonio, baby. We are deep in this series, and this point spread makes no sense to me at all. 10.5 points. I get it. San Antonio's at home. I get it. It's game 5. San Antonio needs it. I don't make bets based on need. It's 2-2. Like I said a couple pods ago, this Minnesota team is gritty. They are built different. Ant-Man, who's straight from Atlanta, he's on another level. He is right there at superstar level. They pulled this series off. Listen, stratosphere shit if they pull this off. But anyway, that being said, I think you know where I'm going with this as far as the spread goes. But we've got several bets on this game. We're taking Naz Reid over 11.5 points to start off with. He's their pressure valve, and when the offense stalls, Naz Reid's going to get his burst. 11.5 points is the floor, not the ceiling. He's good for this. That's good for a unit. We're taking now. All that being said about San Antonio, this, that, and the third, look, Wemby is going to come out on fire. This home crowd is going to be nuts. So we are taking Mr. Victor Wembanyama points and rebounds over 40.5. He averaged 30 and double-digit rebounds in the regular season. 40.5 is a little bit above his baseline, but add in what the books can't add in is the motivation of being ejected in the first few minutes of that last game, letting his team down. He's coming out with something to prove. He's going to make Rudy Gobert look crazy tonight. All right. I think Rudy Gobert's in trouble. I should have looked at Rudy Gobert's unders. Take a look at Rudy Gobert points and rebounds under. Rudy Gobert will have a good game, bad game, good game, bad game. He is very consistently inconsistent, if you will. We're taking Stephon Castle over 6.5 assists. It's a juicy price, but in games where Minnesota's applying pressure, De'Aaron Fox is more of a scorer. He's smaller than Castle, but Stephon Castle is running this offense. He's a facilitating guard that doesn't have to score to be effective. De'Aaron Fox needs to score in order to be effective. So we're going to take Stephon Castle over 6.5 assists. It's juicy. It's expensive. It's minus 140. So we're laying $28 to win 20. It's minus 140, so it'd be $14 to win 10, 140 to win 100. We're betting 20, $25 a game here. So that's what we're doing, 1% of bankroll. And then we're taking ATL's own Ant-Man over 25.5 points. That line is way too low. I don't know who's going to hold this dude. And he knows he's got to carry this offense. They don't, again, stratosphere level for this dude if the Timberwolves pull this series out without Dante DiVincenzo. And if it's going to go tonight. I think he's good for 30. He's not the type of superstar that disappears in a spot like this, especially with a home crowd that is going to be so against you. They're going to be in your face. You're going to be talking shit to the people at the courtside seats. It's going to be great. And I think Ant-Man goes off. That being said, I also love the over 218.5 in this game. I know Wemby's back. I get it. First of all, the spread's 10.5. Second of all, Wembanyama's producing, 40 plus points and rebounds. We're taking Ant-Man over 25.5 points. We're taking Naz Reid over 11.5 points. Two superstars producing at a level in a game 5 like this. I think we're in for a show, and I really like this at even money. $10 to win $10. If you lose a bet, you don't lose anything extra. You just lose the $10. But I love this over. What could possibly go wrong with a bet that you love so much? Right. So a little under a full unit on this one. I like this bet uncomfortably too much. So that being said, after going through all this, clearly you know that we're on Minnesota plus a 10.5. No money line sprinkle, but double digits is crazy. Could they pull this off? Yes, absolutely. Minnesota could pull this off. Not worth the sprinkle on the money line, which would be not wise. But we've got enough games in the WNBA to cover all of this. So I have attempting to become an originator in the WNBA, coming up with my own lines and things like that. So on these next games, we've got the Lynx and the Phoenix Mercury at 10 o'clock tonight, late night action. It's on the West Coast. The WNBA market is soft. I've discussed this before. The market is not quite efficient. Yet the Lynx have always played at a controlled half-court pace, and Olivia Miles, who we have a bet on for Rookie of the Year, is an absolute star in the making. She is a great basketball player and fits in the Minnesota system really well. But I just think it's going to be a controlled game. 170 points is a lot. The Mercury, after just getting embarrassed by the Valkyrie, are going to lock down. First thing you do after a big loss like that is you lock down on the defensive side of the ball. And that's what the Mercury are going to do. And I also believe the Lynx, they already play good defense, as it were. So we're going to take the under 170 in the Lynx versus the Mercury. And then this line has moved against us in a way. It was 3.5. Now it's at 4.5. We got it at 4.5. So we're taking the Minnesota Lynx plus 4.5. No Nafisa Collier. Let me get to my other pointer here. Sorry for the pause there, guys. There it is. The Phoenix Mercury are paper tigers. After what they did to the Aces on ring night, embarrassing them, and then going to Golden State and getting drubbed up. By the way, the Golden State Valkyrie are the most undervalued team in the WNBA. They will make the playoffs this year. They are a good squad. They are well coached. They are disciplined, and their defense is great. They have an all-star literally coming off the bench. Enough about Golden State. We're not talking about them. Phoenix gave up Satu Sabali to New York. Kalia Copper, she's a baller. Alyssa Thomas can hoop as well. That is all they have. So you shut down one, and Alyssa Thomas's jump shot is questionable at times. So give me Minnesota plus a 4.5. I just don't see it. Minnesota plus a 4.5 with a little sprinkle on the money line. They think this is the Mercury team from last year. They went to the finals with Satu Sabali. This is not that same team at all. So we are taking the Minnesota Lynx plus the 4.5. And let's see. Quick educational moment. Listen, like I said before, the betting market in the WNBA is soft. Do your homework and you can find edges. And situationally speaking, even with the money coming in, the travel for the ladies in the WNBA is not quite as luxurious as the gentlemen in the NBA. And there are things that will get better with time, but the situational angles in the WNBA are far more exploitable. And I truly think that this is one of those situations. The Dallas Wings went in on opening day, Saturday at 1 p.m, and they went into Bankers Life Fieldhouse, and they beat the Indiana Fever, Caitlin Clark, Kelsey Mitchell, Lexi Hall, Sophie Cunningham. They beat them, and they probably should have won by more, to be honest with you. They're a young squad. To open the season that way and put up 108 points, like it, Super Bowl type shit. They're sitting high now. They've had a couple days to sit on it for sure, but sitting high on a game like that, come back home. It's your home opener. The Dream just played Minnesota. They won by 1, coming back from 17 down. We had a bet on the Dream to cover the 3.5. They did not. Neither here nor there. They won the game. I just think the market is undervaluing the Dream here and overvaluing AZ Fudd. Hopefully I pronounced that right. Paige Beckers, Arike Ogunbowale, Odyssey Sims. They are guard heavy. And I will tell you that this Atlanta Dream team is not small. They are tall, they are long, they are athletic. Dallas is athletic as well. It feels so much like a trap game that I could not ignore it. I went heavy on this. I went 2.5 units on this, and we took the Dream on the money line. The price is it's at minus 130. Maybe it goes down. If it goes up, the market agrees with us, and we got a great price. But I'm eliminating the points. Learned my lesson from the Minnesota Lynx game. I wasn't going to lay 160 with Atlanta in that situation, but we are buying on the Dream at the right situational edge, and these edges are vital throughout this season in the WNBA to take advantage of. And we're taking the under 181, Atlanta and Dallas in that. The Dream are a 3-and-D team, 3-and-D, with Angel Reese inside. Listen, say what you want about Angel Reese, man. That girl has heart, and it is reflecting on that whole team. She's been with this team all of 3 months, and watching that game the other night, they are cohesive and they are focused on defense and they are good. Again, much like the Lynx, that lineup, we're going to play at a controlled pace. We're not going to run. And I'm not going to get into the pace stats yet. We got to get at least 5 to 10 games into the season. But under 181.5 for the Wings and the Dream. Let's get into some props. We are taking Jessica Shepard. She's underpriced player, and one of the most underpriced players. Jessica Shepard, points, rebounds, assists over 22.5. She covered this by 10 in the first game this season. And last season, she was in Minnesota backing up Nafisa Collier. Whenever Collier did not play, Jessica Shepard stepped up in a big way and covered this number. I think she averaged 25 points, rebounds, and assists a game. And you're giving me 22.5. So we're going to take Jessica Shepard, points, rebounds, and assists. She plays for Dallas. Jessica Shepard for the Dallas Wings, points, rebounds, and assists over 22.5. Next up, Miss Me Bound. Call her what you want. Don't care. The girl scores. She's a hooper. Reese, over 12.5 rebounds is even money. She averaged 12.6 last year. She got 13 or 14 last game. The odds are great, almost even money. If she doesn't get it, she doesn't get it. I'm just going to ride that train, the rebound train for Angel Reese until the wheels fall off or the books adjust or whatever. But if they're going to keep setting her line at 12.5, I'm going to keep hoping she gets 13. If she keeps going below it, they'll lower it. Over on rebounds all season, Angel Reese. Alicia Gray for the Atlanta Dream. We're taking her over 4.5 rebounds. She's super athletic. She's very, very active, and she is I don't want to say a hands-on defender, but she defends really, really well. When the matchup and the usage support the number, or her over 4.5 rebounds is minus 134. So you would have to pay $13.40 to win $10 and bring back $23.40. Makes sense. Do the math. You've been here long enough. By the way, like and subscribe to the video. I'm giving you all sorts of information, and I'm beating the shit out of your eardrums. I am sorry. I am a chatty Cathy today. But Alicia Gray, over 4.5 rebounds. Next one, another train I'm going to be riding all year is going to be the Ryan Howard train, over 2.5 made threes. She averaged 3.1 per game last year. It was a career high. She tied the WNBA single game record. First game of the season, she picked up right where she left off. She hit three-pointers. I think it was either right before halftime or into the third quarter. It was cashed. So we're going to lay the juice on this. That's the thing with props. You're going to have to eat some juice. It is what it is. But we are going with Ryan Howard, over 2.5 made threes. Next up is the late night game, the Liberty, who are missing 3 of their 5 starters, but they've still got one, Brianna Stewart, who is a baller. We're taking Bridget Carlton, who Portland drafted from the Minnesota Lynx in the expansion draft, over 12.5 points. That is way too low. She is their number 1 pick. She is their offensive option. They have other options as well. But Bridget Carlson, over 12.5 points. I think that line is just way too low. Next up, the aforementioned Brianna Stewart, points, rebounds, and assists over 34.5. Line's too low. The first 2 games of the season, I think she got 40. It was 39 or 40. The other one we had a bet on, it was over 31.5, and she ended up with 35. So this is at 34.5. 35 is the floor. Without Ionescu, without Rebecca Allen, without Satu Sabali. And Jonquil Jones is getting a little long in the tooth as far as scoring goes. Defensive rebounding, Jonquil Jones is great. But and another person you want to look at on the Liberty is Marina Johannes, the French woman, who is lights out. She can shoot lights out. I want to get more of a sample size on her in this starting role. Hey, what's up, guys? So it looks like we had some editing issues on the end of the last pod as I was trying to load it up on the fucking YouTube. I think I ended with talking about Marina Johannes for the Liberty, getting a larger sample size of her playing time and her abilities in the starting role until Ionescu and Satu Sabali come back. But all that being said, I was talking your eardrums off anyway, so I'm just going to run through the bets real quick. There's a bunch of them, so pay attention. Olivia Miles over 26.5 points, rebounds, and assists at plus money against Phoenix in the WNBA. Under 170, Phoenix, Minnesota, WNBA. Naz Reid over 11.5 points in the NBA. Dream, Dallas Wings under 181.5 in the WNBA. Victor Wembanyama over 40.5 points and rebounds. St. Louis Cardinals on the money line. Paul Skenes over 7.5 strikeouts. Chicago White Sox on the money line. Arizona Diamondbacks on the money line. Jessica Shepard of the Dallas Wings over 22.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Washington Nationals on the money line. The Chicago Cubs on the money line. Bridget Carlton of the Portland Fire over 12.5 points in the WNBA. Angel Reese of the Atlanta Dream over 12.5 rebounds. Alicia Gray over 4.5 rebounds. Stephon Castle of the San Antonio Spurs over 6.5 assists. Ryan Howard of the Atlanta Dream in the WNBA over 2.5 made 3-pointers. Anthony Edwards, Mr. Ant-Man of the Minnesota Timberwolves over 25.5 points. Game total for the Timberwolves and Spurs tonight over 218.5. Phoenix Mercury, Minnesota Lynx. The Minnesota Lynx, not the Timberwolves. Lynx and Mercury in the WNBA. Minnesota Lynx plus 4.5. The Minnesota Timberwolves plus 10.5 in the NBA. Breanna Stewart of the New York Liberty in the WNBA over 34.5 points, rebounds, and assists. And the Atlanta Dream, our biggest bet of the night, the Atlanta Dream on the money line against the Dallas Wings. Atlanta Dream on the money line. All right, guys, that is all the bets. Sorry for the editing issues and the impromptu cut in right after speaking about whatever the fuck happened. I don't know. But the usual outro, guys, you got it. If a bet makes you sweat, you're not doing it right. This is supposed to be for fun, to make a little side hustle money. So keep it easy, keep it nice, keep it tight. All right. Just show up every day. Make yourself 1% better. This is Jemiah from the To the Window Sports Betting Podcast. Hopefully we don't have any more editing issues going forward. You all have a great day. See you next time. Love.